So my candle went out, so I just grabbed another tea candle that I had in my house. So now we're at step 10. Remove the lid from the active body sample broth and flame the lip of the vial. See figure 7. So this is figure 7. And then, so we'll get that ready, and then I'm going to read what we're doing before we do it so that I don't mess up. So once we flame the lip, then we'll carefully insert the swab into the culture vial and submerge the tip into the broth. And then we'll quickly transfer the broth on the swab to the agar plate. And then you'll want to swab the entire surface of the agar, including the edges. So after swabbing the dish, turn it 90 degrees and then repeat the swabbing process. It's not necessary to remoisten the swab. And then you'll place your lid back on the plate and let the plate sit lid side up until the broth is absorbed into the agar. Alright, so now we'll get started on that. So we'll grab the sterile swab with our index finger and our thumb. And then we'll open the skin sample tube with our pinky to hold onto the lid. And then run it through the flame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll take a sample and saturate and then run it through the flame again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do a half turn to make sure that there's still air getting into the tube, and then we will swab our sample one way, and then we'll do a 90-degree turn and swab it the opposite direction. You want to just make sure to get the entire plate. And then it says to incubate it with the agar side down until all of the broth has been absorbed by the agar. And so step 16 is flame the lip of the culture vial and replace the lid. So I already did that. We're at step 17. Extinguish the candle. And then step 18 is soak the swab in a bleach solution and dispose of it in the garbage. So I will just label this waste, and then I'm gonna put 10% bleach in this cup. And then I'll just allow this to soak. So step 19, gather the tweezers and place them in a cup of alcohol for 20 seconds. So we'll get another cup and we'll label it alcohol. And then we'll fill it about a quarter way full. So you'll want to grab your tweezers that are in the box and then just submerge the tip where you're going to be grabbing into the alcohol. So we'll let that sit for like 30 seconds and then we'll tap off whatever large droplets there are, and then we'll allow that to dry for about 2 minutes, just like we did with the inoculation loop. All right, so it's been about 2 minutes, so we'll move on to the next step. So now we're at step 20. Using the sterile tweezers, transfer each antibiotic disc to the appropriately labeled section of the auger. So this one's gentamicin, novobiocin, and penicillin. So I'm just going to lay these out the way I need to transfer them. And so I'll double check. Gentamicin. And so this is what it looks like, but you can also tell by the disc says GM10. And so that's how you'll be able to tell after we have incubated. You'll want to get it as close to the center of that area as possible, because there will be a zone of inhibition around it, or there might not be. But you need as much space as possible to see the zone of inhibition, and these plates are pretty small. So now we'll do novobiocin, which is NB30 on the disc. You'll want that part to be face up so you can tell. And then we got penicillin, which is P10 on the disc. And so you just drop it onto the plate, and if it drops in a spot that you didn't want, you have to leave it there, because the surface of the auger has had contact with it, and so it'll mess up your experiment if you move the disc any further. And then afterwards, you just kind of like tap them down, but only to make them flat onto the auger. You don't want to use pressure, because the auger, if you use pressure, it's like jello. You'll just go right through it. So step 21, gently press each disc onto the auger surface with the tweezers to ensure proper contact. See figure 8. So this is figure 8. And so this is what my plate looks like. So you should have something similar to that. And then it says step 22, return the lid to the plate and let the plate sit lid side up for 10 minutes to allow the disc to attach to the auger surface. So I'll wait 10 minutes. And then step 23 is place the plate auger side up in your incubation location and incubate for 48 hours. So 2 days. So after it's been 10 minutes, we're going to flip it this way, and then we'll put it in our incubation location. And then I will clean this up, and then I'll be back in 2 days so we can go over our results.